Made with a unique formulation that dramatically reduces redness to help your eyes look whiter and brighter. No wonder it's the #1 eye doctor recommended brand. So whatever color you've got, try Lumify.
You won't believe your eyes.
The daytime Emmy nominations will be
happening now.
A shooting in broad daylight here in an apartment complex on the east side. Officers spreading the scene, a chopper overhead. I'm Max Massey. We'll have the details.
A mother shot and killed right in front of her 3 children. What the police chief is saying needs to be done to protect victims of violence. We sit down for a one-on-one with the head of CPS Energy to discuss the possible rate hike for customers and why the increase is needed.
San Antonio's home sales market remains hot. Homes are selling as fast as ever. Coming up, what sellers and buyers should know.
Still pretty tropical outside. High humidity, sunshine mixed with pop-up showers. We'll have the latest look at radar coming up, along with rain chances for the rest of the week. The news at 5 starts right now.
First at 5, a man dead after he was trying to wave down a Via bus this afternoon. It happened around 1:30 along East Commerce and South Walter Street on the east side.
In a statement, Via tells us the bus was departing its stop. The victim tried chasing it down, tapping the side of the bus. The victim slipped while running, fell under the bus's rear tires, and died at the scene. It's a developing story. We'll bring you updates as new information comes in. Now to breaking news from the southeast side. Several people are in custody after shots were fired at an undercover SAPD officer.
This all unfolding in the 1500 block of Lennon Avenue off of South Presa near East South Cross. Patty Santos joins us now live. So, Patty, this started out as an attempt to find a stolen vehicle?
Yeah, that undercover officer was actually keeping a surveillance on the house. It's right behind me here. Police say that's when that officer saw a vehicle leave the property he was watching. That vehicle pulled up next to him and showed him a gun. The officer was able to hit reverse on the vehicle and get out of the way when he heard shots being fired. Reinforcement quickly arrived. A total of 5 people were taken in without incident. Anyone connected to the shooting could be facing aggravated assault charges. Right now, they are also serving a search warrant on that property to see what, if anything, they find on that property, including that allegedly stolen vehicle that they were looking for. We're live in the South Side. Patty Santos, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Patty. Now to 2 fatal shootings in a span of hours. The latest instance, a man shot in broad daylight at an apartment complex.
Officers called out to Antioch Village on Upland Road near I-10 East just after 11:30 this morning. Max Massey shows us it was an emotional scene there.
Arguing and yelling between neighbors, tears and sobbing. Emotions and tension running high in an apartment complex here on the east side after a man was shot and killed in the middle of the day.
Preliminary information indicates that there was some type of disturbance between the victim and another male right outside the apartment in the balcony area. That disturbance led to the suspect shooting the victim, and then ultimately the victim did pass away.
The victim shot at least one time near Building 11 of this complex. When officers arrived, they found the 24-year-old with the life-threatening injury. He was taken to a local hospital where he later died. In terms of the investigation, officers are working to figure out what exactly led up to the shooting and who was responsible.
At this time, we're still trying to gather a good suspect description, trying to identify any vehicle that he may have been driving, the suspect himself. We're gathering witnesses as well, trying to figure out exactly what happened, if anybody recognized the suspect in this case.
Police spent the afternoon combing through the scene, speaking with anyone who may have seen anything and searching surrounding neighborhoods. But they want the public to know they should not be worried.
So we don't want anyone to be alarmed that there's somebody out there randomly shooting. They appear to be isolated incidents. Of course, they're still actively under investigation.
Max Massey, KSAT 12 News.
Meantime, the San Antonio police chief condemning the policies in place that left an alleged shooter out on bond and a victim unprotected. Police say that a mother was shot to death in front of her 3 children, their ages 2, 6, and 10. It happened at the MC Belden apartment complex in the 7500 block of Harlow Drive. Chief McManus says the man is the estranged husband of the victim. He was found at a home nearby and taken into custody. McManus says the accused shooter was arrested on multiple occasions starting back in October of 2018, but was out on bond for violating a protective order.
We tell victims that we can protect them, that they need to come forward.
and report family violence. And here we are with another family violence murder.
McManus says something needs to be done. Coming up at 6, you'll hear from a neighbor who says the woman who was killed was her friend.
The search continues for a missing teenager who has a medical condition. 14-year-old Alani McCaslin, last seen May 15th in the 9000 block of Cordis Junction. That's near Bob Beard Elementary School in Helotes.
She has brown hair, brown eyes, and a visible scar in between her eyes. She was last seen wearing a gray sweatshirt with blue jeans. If you have any information about where she might be, call SAPD's missing persons unit. That number is 210-207-7660.
Meantime, a lot left to clean up this morning at North Star Mall after 2 people broke in overnight. A man and a minor are now facing charges. San Antonio police were called to the mall about 3:30 this morning after a security officer discovered the damage. They found at least a dozen businesses with destruction, including damaged registers and broken TVs and kiosks. They also tried getting away with some jewelry, but were caught in action and arrested. Altogether, the suspects had about $2,000 worth of jewelry on them. We have new details about a settlement in a federal lawsuit filed against the county regarding the BCSO shooting of 6-year-old Cameron Prescott and Amanda Jones. The county agreeing to pay the parents of Prescott $4.5 million and $500,000 to Amanda Jones' mother. The two shot and killed in 2017 by BCSO deputies who were searching for then suspect Jones. She had warrants for fraud and credit card abuse. Jones ran into Prescott's mobile home uninvited and refused to leave. Sheriff's deputies fired 18 rounds at her. One of the bullets hit the 6-year-old while he was playing in his room.
The temporary migrant shelter at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall now closing its doors today. That shelter first opened up in late March when there was an increase in the number of unaccompanied children from South and Central America arriving at the U.S.-Mexico border. At maximum capacity, the facility housed more than 2,000 boys between the ages of 13 and 17. Many of those teens were unified with sponsors or family members. Others have been relocated to yet another site.
Tomorrow marks 100 days since the winter storm, and today CPS Energy talking about the possibility of rate hikes this year. But the head of CPS Energy wants to make sure people know they are just talking about it at this moment. I talked to Paula Gold-Williams right before the CPS board meeting this morning. It's the first time she has done a one-on-one interview with us since the winter storm outages in February. She was very clear the energy company is facing a $1 billion bill from energy suppliers, but also has $100 million in delinquent energy bills from its customers.
We are not announcing a rate increase, and the board is not being asked to approve a rate increase. But we are wanting to make sure that we transparently share with the public the kinds of pressures that would typically drive a rate increase. The last rate increase we had was 7 years ago, and we've only had one in 11 years. I don't know many things that have stayed the same price for 7 years.
The board took no action today. I talked to Paula Gold-Williams about a variety of subjects. Tonight on the Night Beat, what she thinks of the tarnished image of CPS Energy and her part in it. That story at 10 and more from the head of CPS Energy at 6 o'clock.
We have a reminder, early voting in the city's runoff election begins today. There are 5 council races still undecided. That includes districts 1, 2, 3, 5, and 9. Early voting ends on Tuesday, June 1st. You can head over to KSAT.com. You'll find a list of polling locations and hours. And you can also read more about the races and the candidates. Election Day is Saturday, June 5th.
And coming up tonight at 6, Garrett Berger speaks with the candidates running for District 3, Phyllis Villagran, the sister of current District 3 Councilwoman, and Tomas Uresti, a former state rep and school board trustee for Harlandale ISD. What they say their plan is for the district, coming up at 6.
And here's a look at the rainfall accumulation since Saturday. You look at this map and you really see the haves and have-nots. Have-nots, obviously, along the Rio Grande and anybody west of I-35 and even west of I-10. Locally and eastward, that's where we had most of the rainfall. You look at the numbers, and of course, there's a wide range from Fair Oaks Ranch at 2.5 to Stinson at 1.5 to Gonzales at 2.2. Moulton in Lavaca County, over 5 inches. Now that includes, of course, the weekend rainfall. In Seguin, about 1/3 of an inch just today. Temperatures where we have the sun out west, upper 80s near 90. Of course, we're all feeling the humidity. And where we've had some pop-up showers, temperatures aren't quite as high. 78 right now, for example, in Seguin. Check out Bernie, 2.21 inches. Canyon Lake just today at 0.42. So we've seen some good rain. We have more pop-up showers out there to talk about. I'll be back in a few minutes to go over this and let you know what to expect as our weather pattern shifts the rest of this week. Coming right up, Ursula.
Thank you so much, Adam. The CDC now looking into a number of cases of heart inflammation showing up in a number of vaccinated young people. But the experts are saying the number is small and no reason to avoid vaccines. The investigation focused on two-shot vaccines and the appearance of mild myocarditis 4 days after the vaccination, and predominantly in teenagers. But pediatric infectious disease specialists are saying it's only a handful of people overall and not necessarily unexpected. In fact, the chances of getting heart inflammation from a COVID-19 infection is more likely.
I think the message is the chance of a mild heart muscle inflammation from COVID vaccine is far less than the chance of heart inflammation from COVID disease. And so it's still safer to try to prevent COVID than it is to take your chances with COVID.
Mild myocarditis symptoms include chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, and more, but it usually goes away with rest and time, and there have been no serious cases related to the vaccine.
After more than a year of coping with losing loved ones and shuttering businesses, the U.S. reaching a milestone in this pandemic. Half of states have fully vaccinated at least 50% of their adults. As Isabel Rosales reports, the progress translates to easing mask mandates, packed sporting events, and restaurants once more enjoying full capacity.
The United States is on the rebound.
Run it, please.
CDC data shows 25 states, plus EC, have now fully vaccinated at least half of their adults against COVID-19, with Maine leading the pack.
As we keep doing this, I think it's a great thing.
Average new COVID-19 cases are about half of what they were 3 weeks ago, and the 7-day death average down by more than 20% compared to a month ago.
The CDC has shown that the science shows if you're vaccinated, you're protected.
The progress sparking reopenings.
There's nothing better than a full restaurant, a full bar.
And sights not seen since before the pandemic.
Phil defeats Father Time.
Phil Mickelson becomes the oldest golfer to win a major and is surrounded by this large crowd of fans.
Finally, the long wait is over.
New York's Madison Square Garden sold out. 15,000 fans watching the first round of the NBA playoffs and one of the largest indoor events for the state since the pandemic started.
What a sight, an atmosphere.
While optimistic, health experts warn we can't let up on vaccinations.
And we're left with a residual group that aren't all necessarily opposed to vaccination, but they're not quite as motivated to be vaccinated.
Nationally, the average daily pace of vaccinations is down nearly 50% from its April peak, and a COVID-19 booster shot may be necessary, as researchers suspect the body's immunity might wane after a year or more.
Both the Pfizer and Moderna CEOs have come out and said that they believe booster shots are going to be needed.
In Washington, Isabel Rosales.
It is a hot housing market, and if you've considered selling, now's the time to do it. But buyers, be prepared. Demand driving up the price of properties. Whether you're buying or selling, what you can expect next. When it comes to home sales, the competition is fierce. Local sales last month were similar to March, but way up, 27% up from over a year ago.
And right now, there are more lookers than houses to go around. As 12 on your side's Marilyn Moritz reports, that's leading to a fast sales and a flurry of offers.
Priscilla Karaman knew her family's home would sell quickly. What was astonishing was the rush of buyers.
So we listed it on a Friday night. and by Sunday we had 9 offers. They were all over asking.
The KSAT 12 producer says they even sold it unseen.
They did a virtual tour of our house, so they haven't actually seen it in person.
Homes are in short supply, high demand, and they're selling as fast as ever. 36 days is the average time on the market, and that includes closing time, meaning they are under contract in a matter of days or even less.
You can make an appointment that morning if you're wanting to go view the home, and by the time you get there to view it, there's already multiple bids on the property.
Realtor Cher Macholka says with the freedom to work remotely, more people are moving to the area where prices are considered relatively affordable. But demand is driving those prices up. The average price last month was nearly $334,000, a 22% jump over 1 year ago.
Right now, houses are selling for 100% of their listing price, at least, if not above and beyond.
That's what the Karamans found out when their offer to buy a house was rejected.
We realized that everybody is offering $30,000 over asking on many different homes.
A pricey realization, but they're now under contract to buy in a competitive market that does not look to be cooling off anytime soon. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
All right, another day, another few pop-up rain showers out there.
Feels like Florida, doesn't it?
Yeah,
We've got
a little bit.
Sunshine mixed with showers and then more sunshine. And this is good rainbow making weather. So it's that time of day where if you get a passing shower, once it goes past you, have your back to the sun and you may catch a glimpse of a really nice rainbow. Let's take a look at another aspect of our rainfall totals. This is since Saturday. And you look at this and you see that swath from downtown northward up into Kendall County, basically the I-10 corridor, and especially just east of I-10. That's where we had a real bullseye of rainfall. As for the numbers there, downtown, over 3 inches. Alamo Ranch, about 3/4 of an inch. You get up to Bernie, over 2 inches. Rogers Ranch area, south side of Camp Bullis, about 2.37. Schertz, a half. And Joint Base San Antonio Randolph at 0.66. So it's that swath right there was where we really saw the highest accumulations. And that's actually, a part of that is right on the recharge zone of the aquifer. So that was good news for the aquifer. Okay, here's the big picture right now. We still have a bit of an active weather pattern in place. Over the weekend, we had that surface low pressure system, that swirl, and we still now have a little bit of upper level support, especially locally along and east of 281 and along the coastal plain. This weather pattern will calm down a little bit in the days ahead. But what you see here with those spotty hit or miss showers and downpours is what we're going to be seeing, I think, again tomorrow. Just not quite as much coverage as what we had today. You look near Gonzales. So going from Cuero toward Gonzales, we've got this downpour with a little bit of lightning and thunder that's headed toward Gonzales, and basically between Gonzales and Shiner, right in the heart of Hallettsville, you're getting a downpour. But this is all just good, healthy, soaking rain, happy lawns, but wet roadways. That's what we've been dealing with, and that's what we'll have again as we get into tomorrow. You look over Bexar County, right over Schertz and near Randolph. That's where we have this downpour that's moving into Selma, about to cross over I-10 in the Selma area, Bracken as well. And this stuff, I think, will start to pump the brakes and become less numerous in the hours ahead as we lose our daytime heating. All right, let's talk about our rain chances in the days ahead. We give it about a 30% chance tomorrow, and then by Wednesday, about a 20% chance, and then it falls off to 0 Thursday and Friday. So our weather pattern's calming down a little bit, but it feels tropical. Dewy's right now, 70 degrees here in town, into the 70s closer to the Gulf Coast. It is really thick humidity outside, and we feel it. That's not going to change anytime soon. Where we have a little extra sun, it's 90 in Del Rio, 96 in Laredo, Cotulla 89, and currently 84 officially in town. As we go through the evening, some lingering pop-up showers through about 8, 9 o'clock, but very humid and fog developing late tonight through tomorrow morning. So a damp start to the day tomorrow, fog and drizzle, then a few pop-up showers here and there, mid-80s. We'll have some sunshine as well. We'll do this basically all over again on Wednesday, just not quite as much in terms of those pop-up showers, and then highs back to near the 90-degree mark with sunshine Thursday and Friday.
Ooh, that looks good. Drying out for a few days. Thank you.
All right, this is a guy who didn't make the cut when he played in San Antonio.
Yeah, that's right. He sure did. And what's amazing about this moment is iconic.
Yes.
When he's walking up to 18, lefty making golf history as Phil Mickelson becomes the oldest player to ever win a major. You've got a little glimpse of it before. We'll show it all coming up right now. Plus, playoff basketball has arrived. Can you tell?
James missing again at the foul line. A whistle. James goes down hard to the court. Caruso and Payne get into it. Montrezl Harrell runs into Campaign, and coaches leave the bench area.
Welcome to playoff basketball in big board sports. But first, even if you don't love golf, you have to love the final round of the PGA Championship when Phil Mickelson, at the age of 50, became the oldest player to ever win a major. He had an idea it might be his day when he holed his sand shot at 5 for a birdie. That would help him out to move to a 7-under at the time, 2 shots ahead of the field. But then came the back 9, making the clubhouse turn. Check out his approach at 10. He puts the perfect backspin on the ball, sticks it on the green. But the most iconic moment to me is his shot that puts him on the 18th green with the gallery behind him right there, lets it fly. Then watch what happens next. He is consumed by the gallery and waiting to witness history and also being a part of it. As Phil put it later, it was slightly unnerving but exceptionally awesome. Brooks Koepka has one last challenge in him, but his birdie attempt on 18 is wide, and that allows Mickelson to 2-putt for the victory and his 6th major at the PGA Championship.
Certainly one of the moments I'll cherish my entire life. And I don't know how to describe the feeling of excitement and fulfillment and accomplishment to do something when, at this magnitude, when very few people thought that I could.
Brooks Koepka, who finished tied for second at 4 under, was not as appreciative of the crowd that mobbed Mickelson. In fact, he claimed some members of the gallery ran into his sore knee.
It would have been cool if I didn't have a knee injury and got dinged a few times in the knee in that crowd, because no one really gave a personally. But if I was fine, yeah, it would have been cool. It's cool for Phil, but getting dinged a few times isn't exactly my idea of fun.
The NBA playoffs tipped off this weekend. You can tell it. Playoff basketball between the number 2 seed Phoenix Suns, number 7 seed Los Angeles Lakers. In the fourth quarter, Chris Paul went out to block out LeBron James on the missed free throw. James comes down hard on his shoulder. Now we got a little dust up between the two teams. Paul was already playing with a sore shoulder he picked up in the first half. The Suns got Campaign, was ejected from the game with 2 more technicals handed out as well. In the end, Devin Booker carried the Suns to a 99-90 victory in game 1 of this best-of-7 series. It's going to get worse.
It is playoff time.
Yeah.
It is playoff time.
You got it.
Hard fouls all over.
All night long. Yes.
Thanks, Greg.
We'll be right back. Thanks so much for watching the News at 5.
World News up next. See you back here at 6.